guys, the package from Dubya came. This was the last piece of the puzzle. Let's open this thing up and see what's inside. CRF250F factory wheel set. Holy!
Woo! These came out so clean. So I also wanted to have an additional wheel set. So I actually bought a pair of OEM hubs, sent them to Dubya out in California, and they laced up these D.I.D dirt stars. I got the hubs custom powder coated. The color I went with is Illusion Ruby. I was trying to find something that matched a lot of the anodized parts on the bike, and this is pretty close. It's not perfect, but overall I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. We got the red anodized nipples. We also have Cerakoted spokes. That is one thing with the unfinished spokes that I've found in the past, is they just get corroded really easily. The rear is an 18, but I did get a little bit wider than stock. This is a 2.15. I believe the stock is a 1.95, so quite a bit wider. The way that it should have came. I like to run the beefier 130 or even 140 tires, so we're gonna have more room on the wheel to spread that bead out a little bit. This is the route that I went because nobody makes an aftermarket hub for the 250F. So if you want to do this yourself, you can do it cheaply by just lacing a rim to your stock hub. But like I said, I wanted 2 sets of wheels. I didn't want to lace them out on the road by myself without a truing stand. So just having them do everything from the coatings. Obviously, if I did it myself, I probably wouldn't have spent the time or the money to coat them. So we went all out with this wheel build. Shout out to Dubya for making it happen. That's awesome that they have a service like this. So if you want to get this done to your 250F or for any other bike for that matter, I'll have their information down in the description below. But let's go ahead and get some rubber on these things. And now a quick word from today's video sponsor, onX Off-Road. onX is a GPS mapping app that allows you to quickly find some of the best trails on Earth and navigate them safely. Oh, that was fun. From setting waypoints to logging distance, speed, and the ability to save and share tracks with other users. All of your data syncs instantly to your other devices, allowing you to be as prepared as possible when venturing out into the unknown. Choose a trail, find some ethanol-free gas, and use code ADV20 to save 20% on an onX off-road membership.
Take me back to old Yazoo. Everything up here is new. I can't stand it, just must land it. Going back to old Yazoo. Everything you do, people got their eyes on you. It's compelling, get me yelling. Going back to old Yazoo.
All right, it is go time. Factory wheel install for the 250F. We have the JT 50-tooth sprocket from Hyperlight Moto. We're gonna throw this on here. Funny enough, I was taking the sprocket bolts off of the stock wheels. Little did I know, I have a brand new set that I brought with us. Already has the Loctite on it, is what it is. So we're gonna install the sprocket, the rotor, and from there we're gonna get into the Lucioli install. I'm not gonna do a full tutorial. I've already done that on the channel, but I will give some helpful tips along the way. So let's get right into it.
How long will I have to wait, standing at the station gate? Broken hearted, gotta get started, going back to old Yazoo.
Sprocket is done. Look at that. Dude. I'm gonna be throwing some blue Loctite on the rotor threads.
Going back to old Yazoo. Everything you do, people got their eyes on you.
Boom. Rotor is on. And just like that, it is Lucioli time. So let's get this rolling. There's a few steps that we're gonna need to take. The one that I'm not looking forward to is drilling the extra hole for the additional rim lock. Yes, we have to drill a hole in these brand new D.I.D Dirt Stars. It's gonna hurt a little bit. I've actually messed this up before, so be sure you measure correctly. Oh my gosh, dude, they came with 3 holes. I don't know if that's standard or what. I just noticed that. Also, with the Luciolis, you do not need rim tape, so that is something to keep in mind. Rim tape is not necessary. So let's go ahead and see if our holes line up. If so, that's gonna make for a really happy tanner. And sure enough, that is surprising. Actually, now the first step is going to be getting the Lucioli on the wheel. And we'll have to take it back off, but they want you to do that so the bead conforms to the wheel and it makes for a much easier install. So don't skip this step. Lucioli on the wheel, torque down the rim lock nuts, and actually now I'm gonna go set these tires out in the sun to warm them up. For the meat of choice, Kenda hooked it up with their legendary Parker DT. So this is a desert rated tire. Not only that, but it is DOT legal. So this is gonna be perfect for the build. I'm really looking forward to trying this tire out. I have never ran it. I did not grow up out here in the West. This tire should be perfect for everything that we're doing. Let me know if you wanna see a full review of the Parker DT. Stoked to have this. We've got the 120 in the rear and just a standard 21 front. So gonna throw these out in the sun, get them nice and malleable because they are a harder compound. Sweet Lucy. A lot of you probably cringe seeing me take a razor blade to the sticker on this, but these are 7 mil thick. We will also need to lube these, but more on that here in a bit. Let's just get these 2 started. We're also gonna be using rim protectors. This is the Rim Shield 2 from Motion Pro. I absolutely despise using these things, but these wheels are just way too fresh. I'm gonna try to do this without marring them up. I normally scuff my wheels during the Lucioli process just because you have to use a lot of torque in some cases, but we'll take it slow, make sure we're in the drop center. We're heating up the tires right now. We're gonna do everything we can to make this tire install a breeze. Might not be as smooth as Jay Clark, but we'll get it done. So you'll see why I wanna put this here, but we're gonna go ahead and feed these through the hole. I also have the Motion Pro rim lock nuts, so we're gonna be extra official. Now, to get this last rim lock stem over, we're gonna need a little bit of elbow grease here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this curved spoon right here, and we're gonna put it underneath the stem of your rim lock, and just like that, you're gonna push up on your lever. We're over. Boom. Go ahead and get our rim lock nuts on there and torque these down pretty tight. So we've got our Motion Pro rim lock nuts nice and tight on both sides, all lined up perfectly. I noticed that the front though only has 2 holes, unfortunately, but we got lucky in the rear. Pretty damn cool. That made for an easy install, but we're far from over. Now that the Lucioli has conformed to the bead of the wheel, we're gonna pop it off of here and go grab the tire. So the Luciolis, as mentioned, have to be lubed. What I'm gonna use is the Murphy's tire mounting compound. Now, a lot of people will use a silicone-based lubricant. The Murphy's is good, it's cheap. I already have it on hand, so that's what we're gonna use. Definitely gonna want some gloves for this. So instead of lubing the Lucioli directly, what I like to do is lube the inside of the tire. That way you just don't squeeze out all the lube when you're trying to fit this between the bead. You can lube the Lucioli a little bit, but I would spend most of the time just lubing the inside of the tire. So we're gonna grab a big gloop of this Murphy's. Woo! And we're gonna go to town here. And what this does is keep the Lucioli from chafing. The first setup that I ever did with the Lucioli, I used baby powder and it was not enough. I still had a lot of chafing. The Lucioli was sticking to the tire, and that's mainly because I do a lot of road riding. I use my bikes as dual sports. You really need to lube versus powder. Yeah, this tire is nice and hot, so should be a fairly good install, fingers crossed. We're also gonna get just a little bit on the Lucioli itself. Not gonna get too crazy. Like I said, you do this too much, you're just gonna squeeze it all out trying to get this inside the tire. And we're gonna kind of squeeze on the top of it, and boom, this tire is nice and wide, even for a 120. Now, there's two directions on the Parker DT, intermediate and hard, and that's terrain, not riding difficulty. That is referring to the terrain. For hard, you're gonna want this rotation. For intermediate, you want the opposite rotation. And what I've heard is no matter what, you should run the hard direction with these tires, so that is what we're gonna do. Lube up the outer bead now. Make sure this slides over nice and easy. The rest of the lube on the other side off of my hands. I'll retire this glove. Nice little hack for you there. Get the tire mounting gloves on. So we're gonna try to line this up by the tire stickers. Is that necessary? Absolutely not. Now this is one of the trickiest parts. So once again, you wanna get the valve stem and that first rim lock in. Now the trick to doing this is to take one of your spoons and get it in here behind your tube and push it in. So I would start with your valve stem. You can get that one through. So then you're gonna go ahead and get that nut started. So that's not going anywhere. Now move your focus over to this guy. Boom. You'll see him start to poke through. Just started a little bit. Now is when things get serious. I'm gonna work this tire onto the wheel. Start getting this on the bead a little bit. Get this other rim protector in here. I like the handles on these though. That is nice. Just a little bite here. So I've got our rim protector in place. We're gonna take our curved iron, max leverage, wipe the splooge off of it. This is the most difficult part of this whole process, I'm telling you. Boom. So same thing as before, it just takes a lot more leverage when you got the tire into the equation. One more pop of this and I think we're on. So we are on. Now is the challenge of lining up. Come on, chat. It popped through by the grace of the good Lord. Let's get a nut on there real quick. And just like that, we can start spooning on the rest of the tire. With how thick the tubes are, it can be hard sometimes to get the rim protector to stay put. And you can also, see, we popped back out. That's what I was worried about. So it looks like maybe if you have 3 or 4 of these rim protectors, it would be easier, because now I'm kind of screwing myself over because I got to move them. Just be careful with your spoon. Back off of this one a little bit. I don't want to back off too much and then we'll lose it. So I had to back off on one of the rim locks a little bit because I couldn't get a bite. I was able to slide the rim protector in there. Same thing on this side, a little bit too much sauce on the rim lock. So now this is crucial. Come back over here. This bead is not in the drop center, so we're gonna wanna suck that down in there just like that. Use a little bead buddy. Take the time to do this or you will struggle. We're gonna slide these rim protectors over as much as we can and just keep working. All right, we are well into the drop center on this side. Only a couple more bites left. Just like that, first Lucioli install without scratching up a rim. Now we're gonna get a little bit of air in here. Boom. And the bead popped. Wasn't a very satisfying pop, but it popped. Now you can go ahead and finish getting those rim lock nuts tightened down. Wheel number 1 was a success. We're gonna go ahead and finish up wheel number 2. Don't have to deal with the sprocket on this obviously, so just oversized rotor and we are good to go.
It's compelling, yeah, me yelling. Take me back to old Yazoo.
So right now I'm lining up where I need to drill my hole. You definitely don't want to mess this up. I've messed up the alignment before, so then I had to put 4 holes total in a wheel. Weight reduction. So I marked my hole there. It's time to go drill a hole in this brand new wheel. That's a good woman right there.
Damn, your legs are crispy.
I got burned again. Shamu out in the sun. Alrighty, the hole is drilled. It's a beauty. Did not feel good to do, but it's gonna feel good to get this done. Getting this on the wheel, torquing her down real good. It's grind time. I'm stoked to see what these will look like on the bike. I mean, this is the most time, money, and energy I've ever put into a motorcycle in my entire life. And that should say something because I have a lot. 250F is a super underrated platform. Like anybody can have fun on it. And overall, it's just a damn good trail bike, good play bike. If you like going slow and just mobbing around. Let's get her all greased. Big glob of goo. This front one's a little bit tougher. I mean, this tire is almost too hot to touch from sitting in the sun. That's wild. All right. Let's get this loose, all lubed. All righty.
If you don't like beans and rice, get your rice and beans. If you don't like greens and ham, get your ham and greens. Lordy, Lordy, how long will I have to wait? Standing at the station gate. I'm broken hearted, gotta get started. Going back to old Yazoo.
Boom. All done. Shout out to Amsoil, just using a little glass cleaner to clean up the bead. Get the goop off there. But yeah, guys, that is it. No marks on either one. These are definitely the move. I'll have everything linked down in the description. Save the $1,500 wheel set. Sheesh. Howdy, partner. Well, guys, that is gonna wrap up the 250F factory wheel build. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. Little sneak peek in the back. We've got another build video to come, the final 250F build video for a while. We went all out, full graphics kit, a few more bells and whistles that you have not seen yet, so make sure you stay tuned. I'll be uploading that soon. Let me know what you think of the wheels down in the comment section below. As far as the Lucioli install, I hope this helped you. I ended up getting more in depth than I planned on. This wasn't supposed to be a tutorial. It was definitely hard to film in the tight space that I had to work with, but I'm really happy with how everything went. And if you haven't done one of these before, trust me, it is not easy. But even with filming, it took me less than an hour to do both of them. Biggest thing is just take your time. Make sure the opposing bead is in the drop center. Little bites and the curved irons were definitely a game changer. It made it a lot easier. You get a lot more leverage with those irons, and I think those are a must to have. So I'll have everything linked down in the description below. That's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new. Drop a like button. We're spending a lot of time, money, and energy on this project, but I think it's all gonna be worth it. I hope you guys and girls have a great rest of your week, but until the next one, always remember to live free and adventure daily.